I used to listen to good podcasts, but everything was fine. But now I listen to this podcast because I've lost my mind. My gym partner is a podcast. My gym partner is a podcast. Yeah!
Bull shark, porcupine, I don't know what. Take it from here, Renee.
Scooty deep dab deep dab deep dab.
That's not it. I don't know what. Doing this podcast is a pain in the...
You know, I started thinking about him like the Cure. Took the brains and the bronze. Best of both.
God, how can you take this from me? How can you? I thought we were gonna introduce that bit organically, but you had to take it from me.
I'm sure it's going to be introduced
that was my thing.
This whole podcast. Hello, everybody. Welcome to our show. We have been on this for fucking 3 days now. We've been doing this stupid Professor Hulk bit, and honestly, I can't get enough of it. Like, it's so funny.
Welcome to My Gym Partner's a Monkey. It's a show where we talk about My Gym Partner's a Monkey, but hold that for a second, because I need to talk about Professor Hulk right now.
Well, you see, it's the best of both worlds.
So for those in the dark here, there's this movie called Avengers Endgame. Kind of just, it's a little indie movie, you know?
Yeah, you might have heard of it, you know, in some hard house circles.
I think Spike Spiegel is in it from Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, so
all your favorite heroes.
So to just for the record, have not seen this movie. Heard great things about it. Don't trust any of them, but the studio behind the movie decided that they were going to promote their movie in a very unique fashion, posting a minute or so long clip of a random scene.
And from what I can tell, I mean, it was really bold of them, because I think that's, like, most of the movie. Like, yeah. I think that scene is, like, the first scene, and then there's maybe one after that where Thanos wears a sun hat. But, like, there's nothing else, really, I don't think.
All right,
we just have...
I have to add that it was me who watched this like little clip of this movie over and over one night and was just like, this is the most hilarious thing. I gotta tell people about this. This is a hilarious scene. There's so much to it. You expect my video essay on this clip alone from Avengers Endgame soon enough.
I do want to see that, Renee. Everyone does now.
Yeah, I hope you make it for real. Now, I just want to emphasize something real quick. I don't think this scene is funny in the way that the people making the movie intended it to be.
It's funny in a way where, like, I don't know. It's like visiting a relative that you haven't met in a very long time, and they've changed.
It's like a little awkward.
It's a little awkward, and like, it's just, you know, it looks like them, kind of, but it's not them, you know?
But, you know, you get the best of both.
You get the brains and the bronze.
Yeah,
now look at me. Best of both worlds.
We're here to talk about the Monkey Show, and you know, I think I'm starting to enjoy the episodes a little more, because I stopped thinking of them like a disease.
Started thinking of them as a cure.
Of these 2 episodes, who's the brains and who's the bronze?
All right, we gotta get off of this right now.
I was getting off of this, right? I was naturally progressing the episode from one topic to the other. That's how this works, radio.
You see, Gert spent 18 months in a gamma lab.
Spent 18 months in a gamma lab.
I won't have this turned around against me. Not again.
God, I mean, like, not to keep talking about it or anything, but they were just like in a Denny's or a Waffle House or something, and I think that added to it also.
All right.
What were the episodes that we watched?
First episode, Carny Crazy. You know, season 2, it took a while to get to the really good episode. I mean, the first few episodes of season 2 were pretty good, right? But then it kind of went downhill from there. But then, it started picking back up. These 2 episodes, Carny Crazy and Up and Atom, which I don't understand why the second one is called that. It doesn't make a lot of sense, I guess. But we're here to talk about Carny Crazy right now.
Yeah, so Carny Crazy.
Renee, that entire time you were speaking, I was giving Lucy a look like Professor Hulk. I was trying to just stare into her. I was trying to get the essence. And
So Carny Crazy.
Carny Crazy.
Carny Crazy starts. Adam, he's at his locker, and he just hears a faint whisper of, "Can you feel it?"
Can you feel it? Like, this is a vivid memory in my brain.
Yeah, it's just Jake, like, popping around, like, whispering to Adam. He's in his textbook suddenly, and he's like, "Can you feel it? The energy. The carnival's coming." And Adam is not enthused. He's not into it.
That's for, like, a fucking baby.
Babies,
He's... Like, Jake is so excited about this. He's standing stiff on his tail excited. He's so excited. And he's got just this pure, innocent face. And he's like, "Oh, the carnival's coming to the school." And then Adam's like, "But, that's for little kids and babies." And he's trying to explain to Jake. And he's like, what's the problem with that? We don't want to be little kids and babies. Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Jake, like, ooh woo carnival.
Ooh woo. But he's like, "You know what? Just come on." He convinces Adam because he's relentless eventually.
I just don't understand, like, what kind of fucking Melvin child doesn't like
going to the carnival?
Going to the carnival. Who doesn't like going to the carnival? Like, I mean, like, it's like fun. It's an activity that lots of people do.
You get to get out of school.
What's
wrong with you, Adam?
Well, to be fair, I think he's just hesitant because it's, quote, like, the school's carnival. And I think that he just doesn't know what to expect from a Charles Darwin carnival.
You ever been to a book
there's
fair,
that,
Renee?
but he's...
Same thing.
But there's that, but he's also just treating it dismissively, like it's a baby thing. Like, "Oh, I'm too cool for that." And then later on, like...
where does Adam Jake get off? He's cool.
Yeah, honestly, where does he get off acting like he's cool when he's like that? And, like, telling Jake, like, Jake's, like, so excited to ride the rides, and Adam's like, who would ride the rides? This place is for crazy people.
Yeah, like, this is just not for anybody because this place looks, like, very dangerous, but that's just kind of how real carnivals are.
Well, yeah, I mean, we got, like, these wild rides. One's called, like, a tiger trap, and Henry Armadillo, like, steps into it and gets crushed over and over again.
This is a lot like the Lost episode we watched because Henry Armadillo willingly, like, steps inside to, like, a mouth.
Yeah, it's just like Jake, you know?
Yeah, it's just like Jake, the bull mouth.
There's some other rides.
Like, a weird mouth.
Who?
Professor Hulk. Like, it moves really fluidly.
Fuck off. Mr. Hornbill's riding on the Black Widow. He gets spun around. So there are all these, like, great rides, but like I said before, Adam's just like, yep, this is a place for crazy people, and Jake's just like, yeah, and he's hiding the tickets for all the rides that he was so excited to ride on.
He's just like it's really, Adam's really harsh in Jake's vibe.
Yeah.
Like, all right, and then so Windsor and Slip show up, and an odd exchange happens.
Ikadakimasu.
Where Windsor and Jake greet each other in Japanese, and like, it's very beleaguered, this moment, and then Adam's like, why are you speaking in Japanese? And they're just like, what are you talking about?
What are you talking about? Why would you think that of us?
Yeah, this was
and that doesn't get mentioned. Well, okay.
Like, they kind of mention it again, but, like, it's, just barely there. Like, it just seemed like in this episode, it was like, we want to put some, like, little bit racist things in there.
just a sprinkle. It's like, oh, random. They're speaking another language. Slips is eating, like, a... What did he say it was again?
I didn't hear it, and I was hoping y'all would know.
No, because all I wrote was Slips eats a strange substance.
That's all it is. It's just substance.
It's like this gooey dog or something. Hold on, let me play it. Let me play the footage back.
Well, play the tapes.
It's batter fried blubber on a stick.
Gross.
Well, that sounds good.
Shut up. Jake suddenly...
Better than fucking mud.
Adam gets this, like, he, like, looks off to something, and he starts becoming entranced. Like, he's like a statue. And Jake is like, oh no, Adam is a zombie. Starts running around him.
At this point,
this alright, like, I was prefacing this episode that it's pretty good. This bit goes on for way too long.
I was expecting it, like, half expecting what Adam was looking at to be Carrie. Like, that's just
what I thought it was too at first. I thought it was going to be like a girl or
because
something.
It gave us enough time to, like, ponder, to, like, really think about what it could be. Because the joke went for so long that, like...
Jake, like, you know, does the, like, hand-wavy thing in front of his face. He's like, a zombie. He runs around for a good few seconds, and then Adam sticks his hand out, and then knocks Jake out. And Jake gets back up and just holds Adam's arm for a bit.
It just goes on for too long. Like, I was like, what is he looking at? I need to know now. Like, stop. Like,
is it Carrie? Is Adam being awful right now?
Duh, girl. No, he's looking at a beetle bomb booth.
Yeah, it's a, you know, like one of those games where you throw balls at a bottle, but instead it's shit and bugs. And that's you throw.
That's my favorite game, shit and bugs.
Yeah, I love shit and bugs, where you pick up just a wad and you just throw at a bunch of bugs, bunch of insects, and knock them over. It's a really fun game. But what he sees there is a little prize. It's a snow globe, but it's a very specific type of, like, collector snow globe. And he's just so into it.
So it's gonna complete. That's the one I need. It's gonna complete my collection. And Jake's like, "What? Since when did you start collecting snow globes?"
Adam was like, ever since I was born, I've been like.
He's like, oh, I've been collecting them ever since, you know, Grammy Lion showed them to me. And there's like a little flashback of a baby Adam, which is horrifying. And, like, an old woman's hand, like, pulling a snow globe away from him.
And
like...
Adam just holds onto it, like, with vice grip strength. And, like, she just... The wrinkly old hag backs off. And he starts crying.
Great memories.
Great memories.
Great memory. This seems really out of character, though. I don't know. Like, I'm not saying that Adam can't have just a side where he enjoys these little knickknacks and things and stuff, but he usually seems pretty adamant about, you know, oh, I'm not a kid, I don't like baby stuff, you know, Captain Clowney's my guy. Yeah, and always harshing Jake for that. And Jake is, like, reasonably, like, you know, I didn't think you like collecting, like, stuff like that. But I also find it weird that Jake is, like, pretty dismissive of it as well, when before we've seen that he's a vid, like, he knows stuff about, like, these sort of precious antique collectibles, like the dolls in the episode where Principal Pixie Frog gets replaced. So it's just kind of a role reversal for no reason. It's
strange.
Weird.
And then Jake just kind of, like, goes, well, you do that, we're gonna, like, go ride the rides.
We're gonna, like, have fun.
And so
bye, Adam.
Yeah, Windsor, Slips, and Jake just, like, leave to go ride rides. And so Adam's, like, he has to hit all 3 stacks of beetles with just 3 dung balls. And then the guy's like, knock yourself out, kid.
You go ahead and do it.
Yeah, the booth owner is a character.
It's just
I feel like this booth owner is modeled after some guy on the staff or something.
It's possible.
He's got a very specific face.
He's got a very distinct like hairstyle too. And
it's very early 2000s.
Yeah, and he kind of like Adam tries to hit one of the stacks and it hits him back, like it bounces off a board and hits him back and he knocks himself out, and then the guy's like, not literally, kid, or whatever.
Like, yeah, it was like, knock yourself out.
Funny joke.
I mean that's a classic joke.
No.
I'm relieved that it didn't splatter onto his face. I'm so happy
glad
that something gross like that didn't happen.
I'm glad these dung balls, you don't think about them too much. Just the initial gross out is enough, and you just, like, don't have to have it splatter in anybody's face or anything.
I think the reason they didn't bother me too much is because, like, there's some... on the, I guess, like, background layer of the show,
yeah.
There's, like, drawn some, like, dung balls, like, on the, like, the counter that are, like, really, like... big
detailed.
And like high, yeah, and
detailed.
Then
they bring out these shitty bad ones that like don't that
they look like little gray lumps.
Yeah, they just like look like
they just
look
lumps. Like dirt clods.
Yeah, and that's what like the characters actually interact with. But it's just funny.
I find it funny that a human runs the dung beetle like toss like thing.
Yeah,
like, does he bring this to like other like?
Well, Jake makes a remark where like he's like, oh, it's like where Adam's like, oh. Look over there, and then Jake's like, yeah, it's the Beetle Bomb booth. They have that at like every carnival. So like, what?
I think this is just evidence of like, much like in the date episode, where animal cultures and human cultures, we live in a globalized society here where it just, some of these things cross over, and the kids like the gross out stuff. So who wouldn't say, Beetle Bomb's popular with not only the animal kids but the human kids. Let's just have them everywhere,
It's like Mighty Beans.
I just think that
it's a growing market.
Mighty Beans.
But with like dung balls.
I remember. I just think that this is the only carnival like Jake's been to. Like I don't think he goes to any carnival except for the Charles Darwin Middle School carnival.
Do you think it's because he's a zoo animal and can't really go a lot of places?
I think he's allowed to go places because we don't see it very often, but like in the Girl Scout one, not Girl Scout one, the one where they fought Girl Scouts, like cook the drive one,
Grub Drive.
Yeah, that one. Like they're out like at the supermarket, just like hanging out, and like it's not a big deal. Like I don't think he had to get like special permission to do that.
Well, I guess I mean just like, it's not like his family's gonna get enough money to like just go out and like go to the carnival, go to Disney World.
Not to mention the like the fucking like slumber party episode where they just showed up at Adam's house in like the night.
Yeah, like, hey Adam, what's up?
Hey Adam, can we play your PS2? We really want to play War of the Monsters.
Oh, so we get a shot of we're introduced back to Jake, Windsor, and Slips, and they're getting off a ride called like the Spine something. I don't know.
The Spine Cracker.
Yeah, the Spine Cracker, and then
the crunchy
this weird bit happens. It's the same thing with the Japanese, is where it's just like Jake pulls out a clamshell. He's like, I don't think my Shelly really liked it, and like makes it like clap its mouth open and close, and it has like a pair of googly eyes on it, and he's like, and Slips and Windsor are like, is that a pocket clam? Do you have a pocket clam?
And he
he's
goes,
like,
pocket clam, like in the like commercial tropey type way that like a Japanese commercial would do.
Yeah, and
for some reason.
Yeah, it Slips and Windsor's like, we got one too, and they pull out their pocket clams, and that's
and we hear a gong noise.
Yeah,
pocket clam. Gong.
Yep. And what is it like?
Huh?
Yeah, zuh is the right term.
Like
because
it's just out of nowhere. And
like this is like a carnival episode, and it's just kind of like They just say it.
They couldn't think of any more jokes to do with these three characters of any of the
They're
actual carnival. They're at a carnival.
They're at a carnival, and the only thing they focus on really is the beetle shit.
The Beetlejuice.
the Beetlejuice. That's all they.
Don't say that one more time.
What, Beetlejuice? Oh shit!
Oh no! Well, don't say it again.
I don't believe you now.
Oh shit! Beetlejuice is here.
Are you there?
We'll be right back.
Okay, Beetlejuice is gone.
Sorry,
So
everybody.
I remember distinctly that bit where they had the pocket clams, but for some reason it seemed to me that it was a bit of a longer bit. I don't know if they did it more in another episode, but I remember the pocket clam playing more of a role. I don't know why. Like Jake talking to it or something. It probably was another episode.
I mean, that might be true. But I feel like when I was younger, there are little things in, like, the show that my brain just decided to, like, attach itself to. Like, I would just, like, you know, like, Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, Fredford Burger, I would just laugh and laugh. I'd think about that funny elephant all the time. You know what I'm talking about, Renee?
I know exactly what you're talking about. And I think
like,
that might have been the same with me. Like those little pocket clams.
Well, you just remember certain bits, like some bits in cartoons just like really like attach themselves to your brain. Like I don't remember a majority of this episode, but as soon as we got to like the last like 30 seconds of it, I was like, oh, I've seen this before. Like I know exactly what's about to happen. Like I don't know what it was. It's just like that particular scene latched onto my brain and wouldn't let go, much in the same way that when I was a kid, I was obsessed with Happy Feet. We need to talk about this.
God, you're just gonna bring this up now. Right?
So,
we're doing it.
Well, because it's relevant. So, like, you become really, really attached to, like, the most random things for no reason. Even if you, as a kid, know they're, like, weird or bad. That's why this show is the way it is. It's like, I knew Happy Feet was bad, but I watched it every single day, multiple times.
I watched, okay, this is kind of like related to this, but it was a good movie. I watched Spirited Away on Cartoon Network, like, for the first, that was like the first time that I saw that movie, when they were doing like a month of Miyazaki, and I had like no idea what it was. I didn't even think it had a name when I was younger. I was just like, oh, this is a thing that's happening before me, and I was like, I like it, it's weird, but I didn't think it had like a name or anything. I was just like, oh, cool.
Do you think there was somebody who, like, saw My Gym Partner's a Monkey when they were, like, way younger than us even? Like, when we saw it, like, where it was just, like, a blip in their, like, memory, and they just don't even know that it has a name or anything. They're like, oh, like, I have, like, a vivid image of Jake Spider Monkey's ass, and that's it.
Like, it was,
that's
just, like...
terrible. That's scary.
They just
I don't like that.
They just got, like, sat on the couch as, like, a little baby child, and, like... You know, the TV was there, so their little baby brain just, you know, honed in on it because lights and colors, and then all of a sudden Jake's butt appears before them, and that's just permanently burned into their memory. They have dreams about it.
So the Adam's been at it for a while now with the Beetle Bomb, and he just can't seem to do it.
He sucks so much.
Even the booth guy's like, maybe you should take a break, kid. No, and like,
you need to lay off the buff.
Well, yeah, like Jake's like, you should take a break, Adam, and like the guy's like, yeah, the monkey's right, kid.
The monkey's right. It's like, you've had enough. It's
Adam starts like spiraling. He's like, you don't tell me when I've had enough. I want to get that limit. Jake, what's wrong with me?
He's really on edge. Like, I wrote down in my notes here that I think this is the most I've seen Adam invested in anything.
I actually give a shit about anything.
Thank God there's something at least.
And I really like that when he's like, what's wrong with me? I think Jake says something like, well, that's kind of like an open book there.
That's an open-ended question.
Yeah.
Where do I start?
But suddenly Phineas, you know, the nerd dolphin kid, the one who calls Adam Adam, he's there with like a shopping cart full of top shelf prizes, and he's like, "Let's get another one, boys." He's with like the other nerds.
We're gonna
It's
win
been a
all
while,
the
I think.
prizes.
It's been a while, I think, since we've seen him as an actual antagonist in an episode, which I like. You know, I think he's a good foil for Adam. Yeah, just being like as smart, being insufferable, but also like as smart as him, well, smarter than him, and just like being a contrast to Jake's brand of insufferability. You know, it's the different levels of like antagonism and relationships you have. It's kind of like Spider-Man, where
You know, it's kind of like Hulk and Bruce Banner, but then they took the brain and the brawn. Best of both worlds.
Yeah, I kind of wish
Now
that there
look at
was
me.
I kind of wish that there was a way to, like, you know, fuse Phineas's, like, you know, entire thing
His
with
brain?
his brain and like the
And Jake's
bronze of,
brawn?
Jake, and like have, you know, the best of both worlds.
100% little person.
100% little buddy. Wow, that
So
So Phineas goes up after Adam uselessly tries to stop him, and it turns out he's using like science. He's like has a computer attached to his glasses that like target it on the stacks. He gets 2 down, and then Adam just tackles him. Like, no,
you fucking cheater! I'm gonna get you.
is it just me? But it's a little creepy the way they like set up this computer.
Yeah.
It's just a little like weird, like how subdued it is,
I like
and
it's
just that like ambient, like spiffies background music.
I was gonna mention the music in this episode is like
target acquired.
the music in this episode, like I wrote down mentioning it like twice. Like earlier when they're like talking about the carnival, there's some like goofy ass music playing in
But it's like really tame dialogue, but it's like
That's carnival music, baby.
And then like when like during this part there's like some sci-fi music playing, just like target acquired.
Yeah.
Pig Spiffy is my least favorite thing in the world.
But as they're fighting, Jake just decides to go up and win the snow globe easily. It's like it's no effort whatsoever. It was so infuriating.
He just could do it automatically because, you know, he's Jake and he has the brawn.
If only he had Phineas's brain.
But wait, you're forgetting. They combined the brain, Adam's brain, and Jake's brawn.
Oh,
Best of both worlds.
Professor Jake.
oh my God! Fusion?
Fusion, it was the answer all along.
It was fusion the whole time.
Can we get an image of this is where Adam has Jake's arms, like that one episode, the football episode.
Oh,
But
yeah.
he has like the glasses and the cardigan that Professor Hulk has. We ask a lot. You're so generous.
I need somebody to draw.
I need that to be laid in front of me before I'm put to rest.
I'm not going to say that anyone listening to this is required to do that, but I will say that it'll help tremendously for a lot of reasons.
Jake wins the snow globe, and Phineas and his crew are like, well, let's go win some other prizes. And they're like, why don't you go win one of them goldfish, ping pong goldfish ones?
Disturbing because there are a bunch of normal goldfish, but also Coach Gill's there, and she's just in.
Like, you hello. Why don't you take one of me home?
And they're like, we don't want to get any more prizes. Wah wah.
I don't have to win that one.
Yeah.
I mean, the chances are they might accidentally win Coach Gill.
I would win.
Yeah.
I would love to have Coach Gill just sitting in my kitchen, you know, on in her little bowl. Be lovely.
Imagine just having Coach Gill in your home, like, in a place. Like, she can't move unless, like, Horace is there to move her. So, like, she would just be, like, in a sedimentary, like, position.
Yeah,
I
it
think
would
you
be
mean
that.
sedentary.
Shut up. Yeah, that's what I did. That's what I meant.
See, what we need to do is combine Renee's brain and yours.
Look, look,
Renee,
there's
I meant
so
to
much
say
more to that
igneous.
bit.
I'm sorry.
I'm gonna blow a
I
gasket.
meant to say metamorphic.
Much like Adam. Adam
Yeah.
blows a gasket because Jake's like, you know, Adam's like, oh, so you're gonna give that to me, your best friend? And he's like, nah, I see what you mean now. This isn't a cheap antique. It's actually pretty nice. You know,
So nice.
and it could fetch a hefty price. I'm gonna auction it off.
On eBay.
Yeah, I'm gonna sell it for big bucks.
I like the little back and forth here though, because like Jake's like holding the snow globe, and I was like, "So you got the snow globe?" And then Jake's like, "Yeah."
Like,
yeah.
it's like Adam expected, like a typical, like, you know, like,
I won this
Oh,
for
I
you.
won it for
I
you,
want it
buddy.
for you, buddy. But like,
But no, Jake's not like that.
Jake is
He
selfish.
he even holds out his hands like wriggling as Jake like takes away the snow globe, and he looks so sad for a moment.
And then this last bit is the thing that really like latched on to me, where like it's Adam, he's sitting at home when he's like on the computer, he's like, well, look at that, Jake did put it up for auction. And he's like, 2 seconds till the bid ends, I'm gonna bid. And he like bids $50, and then like at the last second he gets outbid by his Grammy.
Take
Grammy Lion,
boy.
take that, young lion.
It was like young line and old line or something.
No, it's Kid Adam.
Kid Adam.
Kid Adam, and I don't remember what her username was, but Kid Adam is a terrible username.
Such a bad name.
God.
I don't know. Maybe it's a bit better than J Monkey.
Is
Jake.
that Jake's
Monkey.
J Monkey?
Wait a minute. I see something here in like the last bit in Graham Lyon's house. We see like a little portrait of Adam there, and I think that's Adam's dad on her like
Show
thing.
us. Show us.
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
Enhance. I need to. I didn't see that.
All right. Let me zoom, enhance.
Get rid of all the particles.
Make sure
Right,
it's clean
enhance.
JPEG.
Here it is. Look,
Oh,
that's
you sure?
definitely.
are you sure that's not just Adam?
In like a nice suit.
Maybe I don't know. The face looks a bit weird. Maybe chalk it up to like weirdness. But the face looks a bit longer, doesn't it?
Possibly,
Does it not?
but it could just be an odd picture.
Also, we've seen like we can kind of gauge Adam's dad's like build. We've seen his arms and legs.
We've seen his build, but you know, we haven't seen his like upper torso and his head.
Can you imagine though if he just looked exactly like Adam Lyon but slightly longer?
I think that would be the ideal, actually. So yeah, that was Carny Crazy. It's a pretty fun episode. It's kind of aggravating just because it's a little repetitive, but it's fine.
It's a little repetitive, but it's got some fun stuff. It's got some weird jokes. You know, we did like kind of spend a while just like talking about the weird choices in the episode. But I think, you know, in the end, you're a kid looking at it, it's like, ha, funny monkey.
Yeah, it's fine. This is a fine one. This is an okay episode. I'll give it my stamp of approval.
This is one of those episodes that I would come back to as a child on a Friday night. I would sit down, watch it watch it on Friday nights, and
Cartoon
Fridays, cartoon Fridays.
And I would just be like, yeah, this is a good way to end my incredibly stressful week as a elementary schooler.
You said it.
Our next episode we're going to talk about is called Up and Adam. And I really, really like how this episode starts, because it's Mr. Hornbill's voice, and you just see two, like, lights.
You're going to... This is like that scene from the New Pet Cemetery. Neither of y'all have seen it.
No, did you see that movie?
Yeah, I saw the New
Did
Pet
you like it?
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah?
I mean, like, it had some problems. It definitely went through the movie. It was too short for what it was.
Yeah.
But there was a scene where like lights, like truck lights come out of the shadows of like his house, like and like, you know, he's like, oh, like a truck is about to hit me, and this is what it reminded me of. But more so than that, when I saw Mr. Hornbill running towards like this child with like pretending to be a car by like holding up headlights, I was just like, what if there was like a Slender-esque game where like Mr. Hornbill chased you around and like
said you're gonna be roadkill.
It also reminded
he says that. He says, "You're roadkill."
Also, this like whole thing, it felt like kind of like it was copying me and my roommate Will, our bit that we like to do called the flashlight ghoul.
What?
Yeah, I've told you about the flashlight
No, you
ghoul.
haven't.
I have. It's where like, okay, so it's like you like run towards somebody or you walk towards them really fast when the lights are off, and you have like a flashlight and you shine it in their face as you get closer, and like you have a really scary face, like.
Why would you do that?
Well, Will just did it to scare
remember
me
you
when I was, you know...
Oh.
when I was Anyway, my roommate tries to scare me by being a demon.
Good. So yeah, it's animal safety class, I guess. What does Mr. Hornbill teach?
Mr. Hornbill just teaches, you know, he's probably like the coach, but, you know, even less than that. Because like,
Coach
at
Gill.
least Coach Gill is like, you know, good at her job. I think they just make Mr. Hornbill teach whatever. Because it seems that Charles Darwin Middle School is incredibly understaffed.
Yeah.
Well,
Like, it has some specialized teachers, so then they can't really do much else. Like, Miss Chameleon is, of course, the drama teacher, but she's only the drama teacher and stuff. So, like, they have to really spread thin the teachers that can do, like, some other stuff, general, like, education. So they just get Mr. Hornbill to do all of it, basically.
Yeah, I feel like he's like the homeroom teacher. Like, they just like go to him for most of their classes, or with him for most of their classes. But he's like, Adam, what was the dear child supposed to actually do? And Adam's like, well, get out of the way.
Like, move?
Like, like not get run over.
Yes, the only thing you learn as in animal like road safety is to get out of the way.
And then we cut to Principal Pixie Frog's office, and Adam's in there, and Principal Pixie Frog is like on his desk, which I don't know if we've ever made specific mention, is like has like water. It's like a water.
Yeah, it's a pond.
Yeah, it's like a pond with like little lily pads, and so he's like in a little wooden boat in the water, and then there's a pencil sharpener on a lily pad, and he's just there sharpening a pencil with like 1 foot on the boat and 1 foot just dangling in the air. And it looks very dangerous.
It's very dangerous, but he's explaining to Adam Lyon how he's the only kid who passed the animal safety class.
In history. In the history of Charles Darwin Middle School, he's the only one. Guess Phineas isn't as smart as he thinks, huh?
Yeah, you know, I bet Phineas, like, in, like, ocean safety, probably gets trapped in the net, huh?
Yeah,
Dumbass dolphin.
He probably gets, like,
Can't get out of a
fucking,
net,
like, paper bag on his head.
Gets caught in one of those, like, soda tube
Yeah.
things.
It's horrible.
Oh, it's
awful.
horrible,
It's
horrible thing that's
Stop
happening
littering.
to our planet.
It's really bad. We're just making light of it because this funky podcast, but this is awful. Our planet's in peril. Did you know there's plastic in the deepest parts of the ocean? It's awful.
So Adam is given, like, this great gift, but not before Principal Pixie Frog dips the pencil sharpener into the water, causing an electrical fire, which Adam puts out with coffee. You're not, not Animal Facts Corner, but just general, like, life facts. Don't use water liquids for an electrical fire!
Yeah, and I mean, like, Principal Pixie Frog was already submerged in water anyway. Like, this reminded me of, like...
What?
You know, like, Groundhog Day?
Yeah.
It just reminded me of just, like, the abrupt nature of how, like, sometimes in that movie, like, Bill Murray just, like, ended his life.
Or, like, just died.
Yeah, just died just to, like, start the day over. Like, Principal Pixie Frog just falls into a, like, electric pond.
Then his boat catches on fire.
It's really, like, scary.
But then he's like, here's your actual reward for, like, passing the class. You get to be our new lookout on the lookout tower. He's a lookout tower key.
This is the
and it has a big cinder block attached to it for no reason.
Y'all, I've been looking forward to this episode for the entire time. Not for any reason in particular other than it was the one that I thought the cashew joke was in, but I was wrong.
Oh,
it's just another.
There's a lot of nut.
It's just another.
There's a lot of nut jokes.
yes.
Yeah, it's just another nut joke. So my mistake.
Principal Pixie Frog takes him up to this precarious tree house, like way high above the school that I guess was always there.
Where'd that come from?
Yeah. And it's just, he's like, oh, you need to be here, Adam. You know, it is a nice place. It's got like a kitchen and like a place to chill, a little mini fridge.
It looks like a nice little apartment, honestly.
Yeah, like it's just beautiful view. Beautiful. See the whole city.
$1 million view.
$1 million.
But it comes with a catch. Principal Pixie Frog says as he pushes a skeleton away under the couch.
Yeah, you just have to stay here for the rest of your life or something.
It's like, here, you gotta watch for dangerous threats like pirates or clowns or lawyers. Dun dun dun.
Not lawyers.
But there's a little sign that says, you know, limit one person, you know, so you can't have
maximum
people.
Occupancy.
Yeah, you can't have other people up here. So I was like, oh, and the mini fridge is full of snacks, and it's like, but they cost extra. So they say, what does he say? He's like, oh, and don't, like, we go by the honor system. Don't eat all the macadamia nuts.
I mean, if I was up there, I'd eat all those macadamia nuts. I don't know about y'all, but macadamia nuts are like, they're lifeblood. They're the tastiest nut that's ever existed. Like, God, you can buy a pound of those from Costco or Sam's Club. It costs $20, but I'd probably do it if I had $20 to spend on macadamias.
But, you know, at the very least, Principal Pixie Frog says he shouldn't, like, try and fill them up with filberts and other base nuts. Yeah,
nuts that nobody
they won't
likes.
fall for that one.
And for anybody who, like, you know, is normal and doesn't know what a filbert is, it's another name for a hazelnut.
Why do they call it filberts?
I
then?
have no idea. It confused.
It's funny.
It confused me so much when I was a child. I did not know what a filbert was at all. And like I eventually just looked on the side of a can of mixed nuts, and I was like, oh. It had in parentheses next to hazelnut filberts, and I was like, okay, I guess.
I guess those are there. So Principal Pixie Frog jumps off and parachutes down.
And it goes like, oh,
yodeling!
So we got like a rapid fire thing of here where Adam's basically living on this lookout, looking out for the dangers, like we said before. Not killer bees, because that's ridiculous, but pirates, clowns, and lawyers. And basically, this is kind of treated like a bachelor pad kind of situation, where like a hotel room where the fridge needs to be restocked. Also, Principal Pixie Frog mentions that they deliver food to him with this like lever once a month.
Hey, also, they keep the macadamias in the fridge, and that doesn't make any sense. You don't need to do that. Like, put them in the cabinet or something. They're gonna be fine.
But What
Oh
about some
yeah,
cool
that
nuts?
doesn't make sense.
I mean, I guess, like, do people eat, like, cashews and almonds and such? Does anybody put them in the fridge?
No.
Like, some
I
people
don't.
put candy in the fridge, like, in the freezer, and that's good, but not?
But suddenly Jake is there. He's like looking in the mini fridge, and he's like, "What are you, Jake? What are you doing? I'm gonna get in trouble!"
I like. There's something really. What's the word for it? It's just there's really something to just finding Jake digging through your mini fridge, just like back turned to you with the sound of the clattering inside the fridge.
Yeah, you like the first shot of like Jake, aside from like when we saw him early in the classroom, that we see is like his back turned to us, like just butt out, like just like looking it through a fridge. It's so scary.
Like, could you imagine waking up in the middle of the night and hearing rummaging, like the sound of glass and things like clanking against like other bottles and such, and you go into your kitchen and what you see in the darkness, illuminated by the glow of the fridge light, is just a small hunched over figure with his long arms protruding in, just completely like violating every sense of privacy that you have, every sense of like your fridge is his now. It's awful.
And you like don't know if you should say anything because you're scared.
Yeah.
You're so scared, and so you just slowly walk back upstairs, quietly close your bedroom door, and turn the lock ever so gently, and then suddenly you hear a I guess you're
Damn it. I'm like here. Like I saw you do that and it scared me.
You just hear a bang against your bedroom door.
The audio did something that's going to sound so bad.
I got it. Don't worry. I'll fix it in post.
God.
So anyway, Adam tries to get rid of Jake. Adam's like, you can't watch me while I'm doing my duties, and Jake says something weird where he says, it's not like I didn't see you do your duties before. You know,
okay.
Yeah,
maybe while you weren't looking, but
we don't need
so
to know.
yeah.
This is like
he's
this is the first of a few jokes in this that like kind of implies some things that I don't want them to imply.
I don't need to know.
that Jake looks in on Adam while he's in the bathroom.
That Jake just watches Adam shit. Like, I don't. That's information that should not be on my mind.
But Adam's like, okay, you gotta leave. Like I gotta be doing my stuff, and he's like, okay, I guess I'll leave. And then he's like, okay, let me look through, and he sees like a parade going on. He looks at the like zoo aquarium that exists, and then he sees the two pink hairy mountains.
Wow. Can you
imagine?
What do you think it is? You think it's actually just big mountains? That'd be funny.
What if it was? That would have been a funny joke.
Yeah, that would have been funny if it. They haven't done that yet. Like,
where you think it's Jake's ass, but it's not.
maybe they're
it's
waiting.
a fake out.
I don't know.
Maybe
there must be.
Maybe
No, you go ahead, Renee. You say what you're gonna say.
I mean, maybe they're really building up to that big fake out. It's the one like really unexpected joke that just hits you in the gut.
It's gonna happen. Fourth season, episode 5. That's the prime number. That's the right.
All right,
time.
I'm writing that down. I hope you're prepared to deal with what you. I'm holding you to it. Okay. Season 4, episode 5 was it?
Renee, this is
Jake
running a long time. It's like the snow globe
fake
joke.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
So
all right.
Then Adam is there, and he's like, "Oh, Jake," and then Jake's like, "Oh, I just the rule. It says one person. I'm not a person. I'm a monkey. Also, I got your nuts.
Yeah.
Got your nuts.
Got your nuts.
Like as Adams like looks away from the telescope, like to look at Jake's actual ass, he says, "Got your nuts," which really shocked us.
And we were just like, like I clutched my pearls. I was like, what the hell's going on? I was like,
But then he held up a huge thing of macadamia nuts.
Again,
then,
the
like,
show making me think about not only, the obvious that Jake's ass is always out, but also his nuts, I guess. Like,
we don't need to think about.
we don't need
Look,
to.
he put filberts and other nuts nobody likes in the big
I want to know
macadamia
what
nut
the other
thing.
nuts nobody likes is. Brazil nuts, maybe?
what's your favorite nut?
Almonds.
Gert?
It's gotta be either, like... Did you say almonds, you stupid bitch?
It's almonds.
No, I'm saying almonds are the nuts that nobody likes. If you put those in a mixed thing, nobody's touching
Oh my
those.
god, can you just, like, fuck off? Are you,
Gert-
like, making fun of me right now? Are you saying...
Well, Gert, what's your favorite nut?
Well, my favorite nut is probably, like, macadamia.
Well, aside from macadamia.
Okay, aside from macadamia, it's probably cashews.
Okay, so that thing is probably filled with cashews and filberts and other things nuts nobody likes.
You're awful. I can't believe this. I feel attacked. Sorry I called you a stupid bitch. I got
alright.
defensive
I'm used to
about
it.
almonds.
So then Lupe, Slips, and Windsor show up, and at first I was like, I guess Ingrid's not allowed up here because she's too big, but then she just shows up a second
Hi,
later.
I hope this is cool.
Why wasn't she a part of the initial group coming in? I don't understand. It's such a weird, like, pause. They're in the building, and then suddenly Ingrid's there, like,
Well,
all of a sudden.
Not everybody gets to the party at the same time.
It's just
That just
weird.
happens to mean that everybody except Ingrid gets there before her.
Well, I mean, she's got to drag her long neck up.
Yeah, her,
it's probably a pain.
infinitely long neck.
But so you know how it goes. Everyone's like at Adam's new bachelor pad, and they're looking at all the sweet digs, and he's like, "Well, this can't hurt." And then of course everybody else piles in.
Henry's here, the
He's
nerds, Lions, Bolsharkowski,
The
walks in.
nerds, the jocks.
Specifically, Adam says as long as it's just close friends, and then Henry Armadillo rolled in and was just like, cool.
I guess I count as a close friend.
Wow.
And then all of Adam's enemies like pile in.
I also like, what's his name? James Ant? He's like, where's the fiesta? He comes in.
Everybody looks like ants down there. Just me.
No.
I love James.
James Ant.
I love James
Ant
Ant.
is
He's got a good voice.
such a great character. He's got a great voice.
Slips is the DJ. He's dropping some sick beats. Adam is still, though, adamantly looking out on the telescope, just like, I gotta keep the school safe. And then Jake says, like, stop being a creepy peepee and grab some nuts and be somebody.
I guess this is...
He has a certain voice to it, which is like a specific voice that Tom Kenny
It
does.
sounded almost
It's
SpongeBob.
no, you know what it is?
What?
You know what it is exactly? I was trying to think of it. It's Dingle Kringle from Elf Bowl.
No! Not elf bowling.
It is fucked up that, like, this show could be tied to elf bowling. The fact that, like, Tom Kenny has an involvement in that movie is just incredible.
This isn't the first time we've talked about elf bowling on this show.
I can't believe it. Just unceremoniously, we just bring it up.
Well, it's true. It's that voice he does for Dingle Kringle. Like, "Arr." It's me, Dingle Kringle.
Well, at least it wasn't his rapple voice.
It wasn't his rapple voice. They fight over the telescope, though, because Jake wants to, like...
Stir chili
Yeah,
with
stir
it.
chili with it. He also needs to find an ice bucket, to which Adam says, improvise something. Like, stop asking me shit. And then he just kind of, like... Adam gets, like, knocked over the edge of the lookout, and he's, like, dangling over the edge of it, like, grabbing onto the rail, and, like, scary music, like... peril music is playing, and he's just like,
it's really scary. Like the idea of like dangling off of this like really bad
treehouse, basically.
Yeah, like this treehouse just dangling off of it. It gives me like the same feelings of just, it feels high up for me. Like
yeah, I'm like getting pits in my stomach. Like, ah.
And so, there just so happened to be a beehive right where Adam is kicking to like try to get up. He kicks it. It knocks into the parade where there's a float of pirates. They crash. The bees and the pirates get out. A clown car crashes into the pirate car, and they all get out. And I guess they just start following the pirate and the bees. And then a van of lawyers crashes into the wreckage, and they all get out, just chanting "Sue, Sue, 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 Sue."
Which was funny the first time. Slightly funny the first time, and then every other 70 other times it was annoying and I hated it.
That was just what they do.
Did you know lawyers
they sue
people? Wow.
Principal Pixie Frog knows that more than anybody.
So Adam's like, oh, I gotta sound the alarm, and he goes to like, he's like pushing the emergency siren button after like fighting his way through the crowd of like animals, and he's like, it's not working, and Jake comes over and he's like, look, I improvised, and it's like the broken siren with like ice in it.
Oh no, Jake! And
Adam's panicking right now. He's remembering Principal Pixie Frog's words flash in his mind. Remember, it's all on your head, Lion. No pressure. Have fun.
And he's like, I have to save the school. I have to be a hero. So he like lets himself be like crowd surfed out the door, and then Jake's the last one to like have him, and he just kind of tips him out of the like. Basically just kind of throws him off the building.
It was just kind of an interesting little take on this, like, I'm gonna save the school, and like he was inspired by like the Principal Pixie Frog saying have fun. He's like, that's it, I gotta have fun, and like he just gets thrown off a very high building.
Yeah, I was a bit confused by the way this episode ended, because he seemed to have like a kind of brain blast moment where he's like, that's it, that's how I'm gonna stop the clowns and the pirates and the lawyers, and then he just falls and like lands on his face, and then all the problems like run over him, like the pirates run over him, and the clowns run over him, and the lawyers like say give him a business card for being in an accident, and then they run over him, and then they fall into the river and like die.
It was like a weird David Lynch art film, like just like three groups of,
like we didn't need to follow them into the halls as they went out, but like for some reason we had to like see all of them like file one at a time, like jump into the river. The pirates, they're like ar 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 ar. The clowns, they're all like honking like ar, 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 ar. And then the lawyers, they gotta chant sue sue sue, because you gotta have noises for all of them, and then they all fall down a waterfall.
Children are gonna get bored if the show stays quiet.
It's just so annoying. The last part of this episode is annoying, because like the first half's actually pretty funny and like has a nice setup, but then like it just gets weird, and not in like a weird like, wow, that's like a robot arm or the clone, or weird and like a that's funny weird. It's just weird.
Watching these clowns and lawyers, just this really long scene of them like going through the halls, like, alone, and for once throughout the entire episode, Adam Lyon is not really present in like the scene, and it's just these characters that are never going to show up again. And I really just want to like take this footage and put like, a really like old-timey filter and just make it like an eraser head, like add like this like like really like this like industrial noise, and like as they're flowing down the river, just like
and then the lookout tower itself falls and crushes Adam's like lower half, so he's dead.
Yeah, Adam's like that Junji Ito story where he ends up under post.
I have to do this for my family. I have to stay under the post.
To stay under the big post. And then he died.
Principal Pixie Frog comes around. He was up there in the party along with everybody.
That's what's so shitty about it, is that Principal, like, Adam was so worried, but there was nobody, like, when he came down to warn people, there was nobody there. They were all in the lookout tower.
Every single person was up there. Even the teachers. Like, it was all just for nothing, Adam Lyon.
It was all for nothing. I think what happened was they just used Adam as their butt monkey so that they could have a party up there. Principal Pixie Frog knew that Adam was too much of a wuss to like really like have a backbone to stop anybody. Mm-hmm. So and like he even repeats himself that like what Jake said. It's like, oh well, you're the only person here. We're all animals.
Even though he did say specifically, like, you can't bring Jake Spider Monkey up here.
Yeah, literally earlier.
Jake or any of your friends.
I like how Adam goes, I could bring Jake and the boys up.
Yeah, Jake and the boys.
He's like, no, you can't do that. Limit. And then here Principal Pixie Frog is just like, oh, I was totally bullshitting. What a man. That's
why I think, like, he used Adam specifically.
I agree.
Because he just, you know, the mini fridge turns out empty, well, filled with like filberts and other nuts that nobody likes,
like cashews,
almonds.
Shut up. It's not cashews and almonds. Those are good. People like those.
It's just almonds. Cashews are good.
Why do you not like almonds, Renee?
They're the vanilla of nuts.
That is a peanut, and you know it.
Anyway, so Principal Pixie Frog just bills him for the nuts, and he's like, "Oh, brother, you know that's for the episode."
And then his skull gets crushed by the can of like the big container of macadamia.
Yeah. Adam Lyon perishes in the episode.
What a way to go!
I think that's.
Being crushed by Phil.
Like, I like me a good, you know, Adam Lyon, like, you know, suffering episode, but this one, little rough in the end.
Well, I feel like the end they're like, we don't know what we're gonna do for the ending, like, at all.
How about Adam dies?
What about the same joke 3 times and then another 3 times, and then Adam dies? The end. I like the credits sequence here. It's just like Slips like sitting at the DJ table, but he's just not doing anything.
Yeah, he's just like sitting there and he has his eyes closed and he's just like immersed in the beat, you know? And then he tries to do a little scrub with his little tail and it rolls him up into a coil because he's a snake.
Then he gets launched out a window and everyone's just like, yay, cool.
Yeah,
the
whoa,
end.
Party.
That's, you know, come to think of it, nothing really
happened
substantial with these episodes.
Between these 2 episodes,
I really remembered them, and I thought the first episode was pretty funny in a weird way, where it was just like ludicrously absurd. I liked how just intense Adam was about this thing, and in the end, he didn't get anything for it.
If I had to put it into words, like descriptions for these 2 episodes, I'd have to say that the first episode is kind of like, you know, the brains, and the second episode is like the brawns.
Best of both worlds.
Best of both worlds. These 2 episodes.
You couldn't let me just close it out with that, huh?
No.
You need to be quicker.
You need to be fast.
All right.
Anyway, those are those episodes. Let's read some comments.
Yeah.
All right. So the first comment is from Jen Flynn Fletcher. They say, this is in reference to when we made the joke that if this show was made in modern times, the poster with the hamster being Hamlet would be like Hamilton, but with a pig. And this person says, I regret to inform you that Bojack Horseman, Season 3, Episode 1, used the exact same Hamilton joke in a background poster, to which I say, fuck. I can't believe it.
God.
Bojack Horseman beat me to it.
already.
And I think I did see that background thing, and I thought, oh, that's funny.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, I get it.
Wow. See, this is just now making me think: is BoJack Horseman like this universe of My Gym Partner's a Monkey, but
That's
like
what
in the
the
future,
when
gonna look like? When they're more integrated, Things to think about.
I think so.
Maybe.
They do have those ethical questions and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is correct. BoJack Horseman and maybe Tuca and Birdie. I see a lot of people talk about BoJack Horseman, but we gotta give props to the recent Netflix original series Tuca and Birdie. Giving my shout outs to that. It's a good show. You should watch it.
Yeah, I really like how you could see Lupe in the background in one of the episodes.
And she's just she's an adult and she has human arms and legs.
And she says, "Oh, Tuca and Birdie are gonna go to the store today." She's like the exposition bird.
Yeah, she'll say that. He's like, oh no, Tuca has sex
and Birdie
bugs.
Tuca and Birdie are having relationship problems, and how can they ever reconcile their friendship?
She's an important character.
Tune in. Yeah.
Anyway, who wants to read the next one?
I'll read it. This one from Son of a Chipwitch. They write, after years of research, I have concluded that the "if you lived here, you'd already be at school" sign is a goof on an old real estate advertisement banners hung on for sale properties. Those signs said, "If you lived here, you'd already be you'd be home by now," and were meant to be attractive to those with long daily commutes in and out of cities. Here's an example of the phrase in another funny monkey show, Name of Simpsons, and it's a link to a scene of the Simpsons.
Let's roll that clip.
Yeah, let's roll the Simpsons.
If you lived here, you'd be home by now.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, mystery solved.
Mystery solved, still a bad joke.
It's not a great joke.
But I guess it made more sense. I mean, it was a joke for the adults watching.
Yeah, it was a 1 second banner.
Yeah, but we expect much from those little so quick you missed it gags. There's got to be something substantial there to make you keep your eye out. You just haven't that real estate joke. Come on, seriously, what are you wasting my time for? Come on. But yeah,
all right.
That's that mystery solved, I guess.
All right, so let's talk about some of the art we've got here to look at. Gert, you want to talk about the first one?
All right, I definitely do. I'm glad you're letting me. So this was posted by Faye Stria
at FAY
at FAYSTRIA, and they went, when I heard the phrase "Principal Pixie Frog is single and ready to mingle," I decided to make this. And what we see before us is kind of an ad you would see maybe on an anime streaming site or something, or other,
just one of those pop-up advertisements. But I think this one would make you want to think twice about clicking.
Yeah,
on
I mean, this one
hey, it's got Principal Pixie Frog. He's sad. He's ready to.
And
fuck.
I'll say what it says. It says, "Meet hot local singles in your area ready to fuck." Principal Pixie Frog just sent you a message, and it just says "Principal Pixie Frog sad."
Oh, that's so funny. He referring to himself in the third person.
This is can you imagine if one of these, a real one, that was the message? It was Cindy sad.
Principal Pixie Frog sad.
See, I would click
Dick
accept.
pics?
I would click accept so fast.
Get a virus on your computer.
Exactly, it'd be all worth it. Let me look here real quick.
So thank you, Face Straight.
Thank you. It's very funny. Very
cute.
right.
Always appreciate.
So we have another piece of art from @PinkCatNinja, and she
2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, she drew this picture. The caption is, "So Gert on My Gym Partners a Podcast had to make the joke of wanting to see a hyper-realistic render of Jake's Spider Monkey, though Renee did start the tangent. I feel at this point she knew this would happen. Happy nightmares, everyone." And it's a very lovingly rendered picture of Jake's Spider Monkey.
It's interesting because the hyper-realism is applied in areas that, like, really, like, it's applied in a very, like, liberal way, and I really appreciate, like, you know, the limiting of that. Like, you managed to capture the hyper-realism where it was really definitely needed, and it has the worst effect.
The nice fur textures.
I love the little pictures of us in the corner, like, cowering in fear.
I do too. I really enjoy how, like, cute and also terrified we all look.
We're just, like, in Renee's loving arms, protective arms. It's very fun.
Oh, you know I can't protect you.
Oh, God!
You know I'm not.
But this is a very, you know, I'm so glad someone, like, I didn't think anybody would do something like this for what I thought of, but this is so great. Thank you so much, Pink Cat Ninja. I love it and I hate it, but you know that means I love it.
All right. Renee, you want to talk about our next one?
Yes, another piece of art from a good friend, Chairman Nom. They write, "I have made a boyfriend for Pixie Frog after seeing that he was single as a Pixie Frog Pringle in the latest podcast. He's a bearded dragon and currently doesn't have a name, but I think he looks lovely."
I love him.
Oh,
I do too. He seems like a nice guy.
Let's write a I don't know how much you've world builded on this bearded dragon, so allow us to step all over it and decide what he is and how they meet. So he looks very, like, chill, I would say. He, like, looks relaxed, like he's confident.
He could be a member of the faculty. I mean, we have a lot of wiggle room. A new member, maybe.
Yeah, he's, like, there to, like, ooh, maybe, like, Miss Warthog goes on vacation and, like, he's her, like, temporary secretary.
Oh, a temp, yeah.
Yeah, a temp, yeah. And then, like, he's like, who is this handsome bearded dragon in my office?
Never felt this before. Like, he's calling, like, Mrs. Warthog on the phone, like, while she's, like, on vacation. Like, they have, like, that kind of relationship, you know, where they can just call each other, and he's just like, oh my, I don't know what to say to him.
And then, like, meanwhile, the bearded dragon guy's just, like, completely oblivious to any advances Principal Pixie Frog makes. He's like, do you want to go out for some coffee? And he's like, yes, coffee sounds nice.
Yeah, it's always cool to go. I mean, I would love to see, like, a little bit of the town. I'm new around here.
He's like, oh, you know, we should invite Coach Gill. You know, I got to talk to her a little bit. Oh, you know, Nurse Gazelle seems like she's down to hang too. And Principal Pixie's like, no.
This wasn't how it was supposed to be.
Thank you. I really like this character.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Chairman Nom.
Yeah, so, all right.
And we have one last piece of fan art. May I?
Yes, go ahead.
From Chidori Yoshino, at Chidori Yoshino. They write, I made my gym partner Sona as inspired by My Gym Partners a Podcast. I based its silhouette off Horus, since they're both mustelids and no one can make it wear pants. I love them. You know, I think I'm a proponent of furry animals, you know, for Sonas, My Gym Partners, the monkey Sonas that just don't have pants. Yeah. That's what I'm trying to work towards. And I think, you know, more furry characters should just not wear pants.
Someday Renee's character won't have pants.
I like how it has like the glasses are taped to its head instead of like over the ears.
That's really cute. I love that little like detail there.
Yeah, it's great. I love the surgence of sonas we're seeing, though. More, but
yeah, the real secret to my gym partners a podcast was we tricked everybody into being furries.
when none of us are.
Speak for yourself.
Yeah, speak for yourself, Lucy.
Ah, dang it. That's right. I'm the only human here. But yeah, it's lovely. Thank you so much for showing us it. I love the hat. I really like the hat.
The hat is small
So
and
nice.
good, and they have hair. That's really nice hair. Wow.
Wow. Incredible.
Wow.
So a lot. We've been getting a lot of fan art recently, and I just want to say thank you so much.
Yes, thank
know,
you. Keep commenting. Keep adding us on Twitter. You can send us a DM. I think our DMs are open. I could double check that. But we're up at all hours of the day. At least I am. So
I'm usually up in the wee hours of the night.
it really helps us reach more people too when y'all comment to us or reply or talk about us, and we really love seeing our audience grow, because this is really just kind of for fun for us. It's just something we're doing because we're great. We're all friends, and we like talking about stupid stuff. So it's fun to have people interact with us and also hearing us talking about stupid stuff.
Yeah, it's really great. Just having this community that is just interested in our ramblings. I just think that
our funny witticisms.
funny witticisms and yeah.
Thank you so much, everybody. We'll catch y'all on the flip side, because next time we're going to be talking about the episodes Making the Grade and One Lump or Tutor, which is
One lump.
Oh, those are interesting. Everybody get around. I think those are going to be some great episodes. So let's all get together. Let's take a picture for this moment. Everybody say green. Did you get that? Hulk out.
Goodbye.
I was the last one to do it. It was me. Goodbye. I'm Renee.
And I'm the best of both worlds.
Fuck you. No.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.